Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 26th year. Bringing some great information to the public, that's for sure. We'll call it Inside Scoop. We're happy to have you all listening. And, of course, we take your live calls in the studio. I'm Harvey Freed. We got an unbelievable setup for you this morning. Lots of information. Hey, Becky Alla, you're to the right of me. What's going on?
Yes, I am over here. Thank you, everybody. It is the first show of the year, and there's something about when I get to same side seat this man, I know I'm going to have a fire show because I feel like we're at the Outback Steakhouse sitting right next to each other.
I can't see you rolling your eyes.
Are you the blooming onion, or what are we doing here? Yeah.
Becky, go ahead and introduce our great panel here this morning. Let's go for it.
Okay, listen. So I am actually very fortunate to call the three of you my friends. I get to know you on a personal level, and as far as real estate, like entrepreneurship, we got all the things going on. So first of all, let me introduce my girl, Katie Wheeler. She is a hot shot real estate agent, Match Realty. You just hit your 500, one of your 500, you're over 500 transactions. Yeah. You are all the things. You expect the best out of everybody. And the reason why you expect the best out of everybody is because you present the best. And you're a great person. I freaking love you so much. Andre, just featured on Fox 2 News. He is a rising star. He just got his own award here at Match Realty. I was at their holiday party. Yes. He is
rising star.
Thank you. But you're not even just a rising star. But you're so easy. You're so authentic. And when it came to the first show of the year, it was no doubt in my mind who I wanted in the room with us. And then last but not least, we got Nicole Hoopz Alexander, Michigan native. Yes. Listen, OG of real estate, or not OG of reality television, I meant to say. And you are actress, producer, boxing champion. You are a baller of the baller, entrepreneur, real estate owner. I mean, there really isn't anything this woman cannot do and at a high level, because I get to witness it. It's even being great people, and that's what I want in the room with us right now is that, you guys are unapologetically yourselves every single solitary day. And I'm so happy to have the first show of the year with y'all in here. And my man, Harry Glanz, what wouldn't be possible without him. 26 years on the radio. Let's go. 26
years on the radio. Thank you to 97.1. Doing the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show every Saturday morning now from 8 to 9. Happy New Year, everybody. First show of the year. So Becky wanted to bring in some superstars. I feel really good about it because, listen, brand new year, first show, want to kick it off the right way, bringing everybody and the consumers out there real, authentic. And we say, listen, we are not going to sugarcoat it. That's why we're called the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, because we just tell it like it is. Yeah. We're disseminating accurate versus inaccurate information for everybody out there, because there's some crazy stuff going out there. Oh, yeah. Especially right now in the market. The market, Katie, as you know, it's hot right now. It is on fire. Last year, I can tell you a little recap, 2025, in our area was up between 7 and 10%. We're predicting for 2026, it's going to be another solid year in real estate. And if the rates do come down a little bit more, you're going to see the home buying market is still on fire. But then you couple that with saving money, and Becky will tell you all about it, saving people money, refinancing and paying off high interest rate credit card debt and lowering people's payment is what it's all about. So we want to help everybody out there. Thanks for having us on the radio for 26 years, and we're ready to go. We're jacked up.
Katie, a lot of buyers out there definitely starting to dip their toes in the water. Maybe we're going to see if these rates drop. Maybe some of those empty nesters are going to downsize and get those homes on the market. Let's just jump in here a little bit with the all counties in Southeast Michigan. Is that inventory starting to pick up? This is wintertime here. I mean, again, looking at sub-zero temps next week. A little icy on the road this morning, so definitely take it easy. Let's talk a little bit about the inventory just to start the year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it always starts, I always tell my buyers that are looking right now, it's still a good time to get a really good deal on a property, right? But we always start to see more inventory right after the holidays, right? The hangovers are over. Everyone can kind of...
Mine's continuing.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the projects that, people wanted to do and get done, they were able to maybe around the holidays, or maybe they weren't. Now that's motivating them. So for sure, inventory is starting to slowly pick up. I always tell my buyers that don't give up, don't get defeated, right? Because right around that February mark, we're going to see even more properties.
Yeah, right now I feel like it's busier than it was this time last year, truth be told. My phone is ringing nonstop. I feel like people are getting off the sidelines as far as, that home ownership. And there's a lot of also calls where taxes are becoming a problem. And because you're getting those tax bills and, things are falling off, like people are paying attention a little bit more to these tax bills and the taxes are going up exponentially. So you got to make sure that you're aware of that. But you guys are high level advocates for your clients. You let them know you're talking about those things. And right now is that opportunity where you can win. And I feel like buyers are getting off the sidelines even more so because the rates have finally dropped to where it's a little bit more palatable and it's making the affordability a little bit better for everybody.
For sure. And taxes are such, I will die talking about taxes, right? Like it's talking about it all the time because I just had a client literally 2 weeks ago who said, it was his dad who was very involved in the transaction, which was great, until the end, where he said, well, he's probably not going to buy the house if the taxes are this much. And I said, he shouldn't. If you can't
afford the taxes, you shouldn't buy the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Katie, what's up with that? I see that all the time. And, people are looking at these houses. They don't understand that the value of their home is going up. So what's going to happen in the municipalities? Taxes are going to go up.
Yep.
So if you are looking at a house and you say, well, I can afford the house, but I can't afford the taxes, you really can't afford the house.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, you're going to die about the taxes. Two things in life are certain.
Yep.
Death and taxes.
Absolutely. And
so that's what happens.
Realtors just have we have a requirement to educate our clients. Absolutely on that. And there are a lot of realtors out there, unfortunately, who don't even know how, tax rates and all those things work, and are not explaining that properly to their clients. And then they are having an uncomfortable conversation in 6 months to a year when they have to sell that property. Or now you don't look great to your clients when you're not doing the right things up front.
Becky's been saying that for years. So
yeah.
Becky said that during COVID, when people were buying houses, or before they got deals, right? Right, Beck? Didn't you say that? And then they're calling Becky up and saying, I can't afford the house because the taxes went up.
It's devastating.
Yeah, so, people walk around bragging about their 3% interest rate. Super cool. Sounds super sexy when you say it as well. But at the same time, they're now buying these $500,000 houses and they really were $200,000 buyers. So now when you're getting these taxes adjusting, I'm doing a refi for a client right now. Their taxes went up to $20,000. They can't afford it. It's just, that's where everything's going. And, you can't have hungry eye syndrome where it's, there's a reason why we have to overqualify people. And I understand that sometimes there's things behind the scenes where it's a dual household income and there's other things that are happening. But the point is that we take care in making sure that we have people that are going to be successful, not just right now, but 5 years down the road. What is the game plan? And even with for example, Nicole, you have real estate, right? You own property in Michigan. It's free and clear, which is great. But the point of that matter is that that is building that real estate portfolio for, the investors in the future. And when you are looking at the investors and you're taking them out shopping, Andre, it is about that cash flow of that property as well. What is it? Are we going to retain this property or are we going to sell it later on down the road and make that and have that be that nest egg for that retirement later on down the road?
Yeah. So that's one of the first things that we look at when we're sitting down talking to our buyers. I send her to somebody like you, Becky. Hey, does this work for this person? Before we put in this offer, we're checking taxes, we're checking insurance and all the things just so we make sure that they're able to afford it and they're okay with that payment.
I'm going to use a statement that I keep using year after year. You can make these phone calls. And again, I don't like clickers. Make the phone call and really have these great conversations. I'm typically calling city halls. They love to hear from you. If you're thinking about buying in a particular city, there's nothing wrong with you right now picking up the call this week. Not on Monday. We're going to have it off for MLK. But definitely make the call to the city, and they're lovely people typically. Hey, if I'm thinking about buying a house in this community, what's the millage? How do I figure that out? What would my future taxes be if I end up purchasing for X amount of dollars? These are really important questions, and some great news, of course, as home buyers are still out there. Nationally, we had existing home sales jump in December, 5.1%. National Association of Realtors definitely are reporting that. Good news. So plenty of buyers out there. What we want to do is make sure you're extremely successful at home ownership. Don't have that regret. Do it the right way. And I got to urge everyone out there again, don't click buttons. Clicking buttons get you in trouble, I'll tell you that. There's this is a hub of some great mortgage people. Have those really intellectual conversations.
Don't be a button clicker unless you're on the social media with us and you can connect with us. So we want to hear from you, 248-539-9797. Phone lines are open. If you want to connect with Nicole Hoopz Alexander, our Michigan native. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, you can see me. It's a packed, I almost swore, but it's packed studio. And I want to kick it to my girl. I want to do a little bit of a deep dive for a second, okay? No. Not like a bad deep dive, but you've grown up, in your adult life, really in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with its certain vices a little bit. So like when you are, and we're talking about home ownership too. So like as you've grown in the spotlight, I feel like, at a point you value peace a little bit better.
Absolutely.
A little bit more, right? And so when it comes to the homes, what is more important? Do you like, what's that thing that you like in a home? Like, is it that sanctuary? Is that peaceful place? And do you value that more than the chaos? Is it calm or chaos right now?
It's a little of all of those things. So that's why I want my home to be a place that I get to come back and just stretch out. I love my land. I love my animals. And when I'm going city to city and it's so crazy and busy and chaotic, I want to come back to peace. So yeah, I usually go for something that's just wide open. And I have a lot of family, so I love to entertain. Either I'm cooking or I'm just doing something crazy with my nieces or nephews, and that's it. I think it's 50-50 for me. I love to come home.
Well, you have multiple homes, okay?
Yeah.
So, so Nicole, like you're in Tennessee. Everyone knows you're country girl, but you're also Detroit, Motor City, and that's
Absolutely.
what is cool
All of
about-
the sides.
Yeah, and you're like all over the place, but like
Yeah.
you have the animals. So like if you could pick, because like in COVID we're talking about everyone wanted land, right? Because no one thought they had to go to work anymore, right? And all of a sudden it's like, crap, I have to go to work and I can't have land. But so you like both? Are you 50-50? You like the city, but then you like
Yeah. I mean, I have to wear multiple hats, throughout the day like you guys do. It's just I'm putting red bottoms on, maybe jumping on a jet, or I'm going to walk the red carpet, or I go and, put the saddle on my horse, So I love them both.
Like when I said there is nothing that this woman can't do, like literally, we rode horses and she's like, just pops on this horse and I'm like, I'm scared to death. It's like riding a dragon.
I'm just wondering, do you ride a horse with your Christian Louboutins on? I mean, what do you do?
No, I
don't
have
know.
done a shoot like that
You
before,
have
but
that.
no.
She definitely can. Yeah.
Okay, so then to that point, so when people do recognize you, what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions?
When they recognize me, I think
Yeah,
they're just
like,
happy
or-
to see. So the
Or maybe
thing for
like
me
the
is,
public opinion, maybe. I don't know.
I would say the number one thing would be that we knew from one of the very first shows, Flav, which I love to death, that we knew he was the person we were going for. I think that is probably the number one thing. Like, why would you go date this guy? And we had no idea. So back then, when reality was like real, they kept it authentic. They had that scare tactic, that raw reaction. We had no idea who was walking through we just knew it was a dating show. So he walked in
Oh, I
and
didn't
we
know
were
that.
like, whoa.
lot of people
It's like,
didn't.
oh my gosh, it's Flav.
So
All
Nicole,
right.
Nicole, are you saying now all reality TV is staged? It's not authentic? Are you telling me that?
No, I'm saying now that most of it is scripted, but there still is the production, thing that basically maybe you guys don't know, but Becky knows we have another surprise guest walking through the door, right? So you guys'
Sweet.
reactions will be,
I feel good about that.
Yeah. It's
so
more
that's
improv.
real.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's real.
It's more
but
improv. You're in situations.
yeah, 100%. You're just placed in situations that you don't know about for reactions.
Like
But-
low key, like nobody knows this, but back in the day when I was 18, I auditioned for Real World. And like we're
I
gonna
could
get
so
into
see
it.
it.
Oh my god, it was
I can
so
see
good.
that for
I wasn't
sure.
ready for it.
Totally.
When we come back, we got to hear about Becky's other side of reality TV. Hey, look out there. 2025 was a little tough getting started. If you're thinking about home ownership, well, hey, these rates dropped down. We're about 3-year lows now. Maybe that'll get you motivated to get out there and give these great real estate agents a call. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll take your calls, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. You heard that. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at the office, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Of course, brought to you by, powered by CMG Home Loans, NMLS 1820, Equal Housing Lender. Got a great show here lined about 40 plus minutes here, and hope you're driving safely out there because the roads were a little slick coming in. We're talking about mortgages and real estate in our 26 years. Katie Wheeler joins us from Match Realty with Andre Abney, of course, who's been on TV. Andre, you're getting too big for us. And Nicole Hoopz Alexander, she's a big star out there, and you might have seen her on a lot of reality shows. So we're going to hear a little bit about, I don't know, Becky, you got a whole something to say here.
Oh, yeah. So, like, when I was 18, so before the break, we were talking about, like, reality TV show. And Andre and Nicole are obviously no stranger to reality, but I dipped my toe in it when I was, like, 18, and my friends stayed in line for me, and I showed up and whatever. But, like, what Nicole was saying is, it is kind of like they put that one person in there to see how you're going to interact with that conflict and the things. And I was like, ugh, I wasn't even like out here like that yet. And so they're purposely trying to like press me. And I made that decision. I was like, no, like I had to have conversations with my family first kind of thing. I was like, so it was not for me, but like, that's where I'm curious though. Like, you know, reality TV puts you out there, right? So, like, is there certain things that, like, is there a pressure that it's like, you know, or does it create pressure, or is it an opportunity, or is it a little bit of both for you?
Oh, it's totally both. But, you know, when people are looking at you and they see something or they resonate with you personally, and you're walking on the streets and they want a hug, that is powerful, you know? So even now, and it's been 20 years ago, that they're like, Hoopz, and I'm like, how do you,
Yeah.
you know, and then they're like, they want to embrace you. And it's, you know, obviously everything has changed since then, and it keeps changing. And that's where, you know.
There's been times where we've been in the mountains of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, oh, is that Hoopz right there?
Like, you're like, wait, what?
That's your southern accent.
How do we know? Like, we're in the middle of nowhere.
What? But to be able to touch people and have an effect on them is powerful, and it carries with you that like they're looking at you, they're watching you, or they felt something. So there is a responsibility there to you know, to always be on or make sure that I can give that energy back.
So brave. I'm way too soft for TV.
We got the best
Way
of both
too
worlds
soft.
right now. Reality TV
No,
and
you're
real
not,
estate.
Katie.
Yeah, I mean,
Watch
listen,
shows
Andre's
on
been trying, and
Netflix
I'm like,
and all the
count me
things right
out.
now.
I don't want anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
but let me
Katie
ask
would
this
be
question.
great.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I think what's going on right now, and this I'm going to bring you guys into it, because I think when you're talking about, we talk about reality TV or social media and then business. So from my perspective, and I'm out there and I like being out there and observing what's going on. But so many people now, and we have a thing in our office where in the 90s it was colored copiers and colored rate sheets and you know, bringing donuts and bagels into realtors' offices. And then, you know, but I look at social media. Why do I bring that up? I look at social media and I say to myself, and you guys can pick this up, what's real and what's not real. So if the realtors are on social media, you know, they're doing their Instagram, they're doing their TikTok, how many, in your opinion, Katie, are really substantial and doing business?
I love this question.
Yeah, because what I see, everybody wants to be on TV, everybody wants to be on radio.
Everyone's an influencer.
But who's really doing business, Katie?
Yeah, this is where I wish Cyrus were here, because he like knows the actual numbers. I feel like it's probably 20%. If you have an amazing social media and you're posting all of that, those are usually the first people when I run into in a transaction
that you're out.
That I'm looking at their numbers. And I'm
Right.
like, shit, they've closed 4 deals last year. No wonder they have so much time on social media. I can't. Like, Cyrus yells at me. He's like, can you wipe your screen when you take a video of like a frozen lockbox? Like,
Nicole's always yelling at me about that. She's like, wipe your camera.
you know, he's doing these things where he's got like, you know, now videos and things that are coming out like a week in advance. Like he's already pre-doing that, which I think is great. But if I don't post it right away, it's not happening. Like, I just am like on the go. I can't sit there behind and, you know, and plan it out.
So I look at the substance of the whole thing, and I say to myself, and we do the same thing. So Harvey will come into the office and go, you know, this realtor, that realtor, or whomever, this loan officer. We go right to their numbers.
Yeah.
I go right to them. Are you really doing business, or are you pretending that you're doing business? It's like people that post a lot, like serial posters. Are their lives really like that, Nicole? I mean, what are their, or is it just a lot of BS? I can't say the real word on the radio,
I think
but like it's just a bunch of junk to me. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. Am I a bad guy?
No, you're not a bad guy. Like you said, it's changed so many times from your time, even to mine. When I was on TV, we didn't have social media. It was your your publicist reaching out to a network or something like that. And if you could have your hands on, if someone could touch, see you, or feel you, you were devalued. It was if you could get a hold of you easy, it was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, you're not worth much. But now, if your presence isn't on there, it's like, well, there's 5 lookalikes like me now. I can just go get her for $5 or however, whatever. But now influencers, the whole thing is to be more present and be on there. But yes, you're right. Numbers don't lie. But the thing is people think just because you have 1 million followers or this, that, and the other, whatever, you're making money. If you are selling anything, you're 2% of that equates to dollars. 2%, you know, you still have to work. Yeah.
I don't know anybody in our industry. I don't know anybody that works harder than the 2 people sitting to my left. Becky's working all day, every day, every time.
Yes.
And that's good. And Harvey's out there has got a tremendous work ethic. So what I'm seeing is, I'm trying to value the difference between the people that are just posting and the people that I know that are working. So I don't.
I mean, I think it's like what Katie said. It's unfortunate because it is such a it's out of sight, out of mind. But everyone wants that instant gratification, right? And I said everyone's an influencer. Like Nicole truly is an influencer. Like you've been out here doing the things, you show up, people know who you are. We're in Mexico for Pete's sake, and people are like, "Hoopz, is that you?" I'm like, and they're speaking Spanish at her, like, and she can speak it back. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, freak shows kind of stuff. It's just wild. But like, you've been doing it for so long, and you're like, and I feel like on social media, like I'm not as present as I need to. Like I get yelled at all the time. Like Becky, if you were present more, if you were present more, but
I yell at her.
Yeah, it's hard to do that because I'm out here physically touching
moment,
people.
yeah.
Yes, I'm like doing the
So
things.
that's the thing. There's only 24 hours in a day, right? You got to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, you got to detach
a little bit,
a little.
right? And you have to have that calm in your life. But it's really who's working. It's working, you've got to go ahead and you can only, if you do a little social media but a lot of work, to me, that's the right recipe. The work ethic is nothing's ever going to take the place. I don't care if it's a color copier, your computer, social media, than putting in the work.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and work with people and have a relationship. Relationships, they go ahead, and that's what the key to everything in life is, your relationship and the people you could trust. Are you going to call a stranger? What do we say? Stranger danger, man. What'd your mom tell you? Don't talk to strangers. Are you going to call people that you know of, that you've heard of, that have a track record, instead of just somebody that automatically you post, you like the way they look, and they're talking the talk, but you got to be able to walk the walk, Becky.
Yeah, well, that happens too in listing appointments for me all the time, where if I go to 5 listing appointments in a month, 4 of them are pulling up social media, and so they are using that as a pinpoint on who they choose. But I'm also then saying, hey, I suggest you look at actual sales, like actual numbers, and I'm showing them the actual facts. So it's kind of twofold.
Part of the reason why you've become one of my favorite people, though, Katie, is because you literally, you call it like it is, and you put your money where your mouth is, because you literally are doing the things. You are boots on the ground. You care genuinely, deeply for people. You can see it, and that's why you get so passionate when I mentioned earlier, like you expect greatness out of everybody because you're great, and you want people to treat everyone with that same respect. And I appreciate that so much about you.
All right, we're going to get a little serious in this next segment coming up. We're going to talk about some debt consolidation. That's right, folks. You got to pay those bills. You bought a lot of cool stuff there for the holidays. And, of course, a really touchy subject, always the divorce subject. If you're a homeowner, we're going to give you some strategies on that. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. We are back. Welcome back to the show. Of course, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Yeah, we definitely got to dive into some mortgage real estate stuff here. One of the tough ones, of course, those tougher conversations is that consolidation. And I threw that out there, that divorce thing. I'm no divorce attorney. Mrs. Glantz knows that.
I might know one.
You might know one or two. But one of the things, I've been receiving some calls here towards, after the, or at the beginning of the year. And there's a couple of strategies, Katie, we just sort of breezed over it. You can call a real estate agent, a local real estate agent, start building a great relationship. One of the first steps you guys do is to offer up that market analysis. So
Absolutely.
you can calmly sit down with your spouse and then start putting a strategy together. Someone wants to keep the house. If you have children, one of the spouses might want to keep the house, keep the family there in the house. You got to figure out who qualifies. It's so important. Who qualifies? Who can keep the house? And does the house have enough equity? So with that equity position where you can pay the other person to start their life again, that's really key to know what that house is worth. You guys do free market analysis.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to spend the money yet because you got to decide who's going to pay for the appraisal, what that strategy is. But free market analysis, tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. And I mean, with an appraisal these days, if someone says, hey, get an attorney or get an appraiser out there, that opinion can also change. So when you're talking with a realtor, when I'm going into any of those appointments, if I'm selling your house today or I'm selling it next year, to help you kind of move in that direction and pay off that debt or buy out a spouse, right? I'm showing them low end, mid end, high end, but I'm also staying in contact with them the entire time, right? Real estate is something that, I joke, but I'm in the streets regardless, right? So if I come over and we talk today, but maybe it's not the right time, I'm still going to keep you informed throughout the next, 12 months so that hey, this is probably the best time to do it if we're looking at trying to get this amount. And a lot of people don't know realtors don't get paid until closing, right? So I'm coming out for free. You're not paying me a $600 or $800 appraisal fee for my opinion, right? So I think that's where you have to start if you're considering any of that, is just get in contact with the right realtor and, someone that's going to go at your pace.
For sure. Like you're talking about, like you're helping, not selling. And
Exactly.
it's about, it's their timeline, not ours. And that's where it's important to make sure that, like, when you're sitting down with somebody, you're really doing that deep dive. Like, what are they doing 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years down the road? And again, that's why I want to only work with people that are so authentic and genuinely caring about what they're doing with their clients, because at the end of the day, you have to lay your head on your pillow at night and you have to know that you did the best for whoever, because people don't know what they're doing. They don't understand. That's why they hire a professional. And that's why we're here to do the best that we can for everybody.
I joke about the opposite of the Drake kind of phrase where he says, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but I'm here for a long time, not a good time. So I'm here whether or not you're going to choose to do that today.
Yeah.
Or,
I got to do both.
yeah.
Oh, let's roll off to our first call here this morning. Randy, you're live on 97.1 The Ticket. Please go ahead.
Actually, Harvey, I was calling in because I heard you talk about divorce strategies, and I wondered what.
Oh, no. Well, how about you? You're the expert on that. That's for sure.
We don't want you going into divorce strategies without a divorce expert.
That's for
So,
sure.
what about property values and how you're splitting the property between the spouses? And maybe one spouse wants it, but they can't afford it, and the other spouse really wants it, and they just want to fight. And how do you determine what the payoff's going to be?
Well, you've got to be realistic with your expectations. So if one party is going to keep the house, you're going to have to either come to an agreement as to the value of the property and what the other spouse is going to be receiving as their part of the equity, and figure out a way of how that equity is going to be paid and whether the person who's receiving the property or being awarded the property is going to be able to maintain it. Because we know that a lot of these properties right now are held with mortgages with very favorable rates, and a lot of our soon-to-be divorced clients don't necessarily want to refinance because they don't want to increase their payment, they don't want to increase the current rate that they have. So you've got to approach it in a very realistic, very transparent manner and have discussions about it. And there are all kinds of ways to do that. If one party wants to keep the home and the other party is amenable to it and they can agree on a value, we put certain language in a final judgment that assures that the person who's retaining the home is going to maintain it timely, so we don't expose the other party to any type of negative impact on their credit. And, there are ways of determining what's in the estate. How can we offset perhaps some of the other assets to assure the person who's walking away from the home gets their equity?
So it's not really, we're going to let you go in a second before I do, or I'll hear about it later. We have to go ahead and make sure that it's not as simple as people think. It's not talking about it because you're seeing people at their worst. They're arguing. Sometimes you have to get 2 or 3 appraisals because they don't trust each other, because they all think that somebody's rigging their side of the appraisal. You know that's true, right? So you got to get maybe 2 or 3 appraisals, determine a value, and then once you settle on the value, you have to ascertain who can afford it. And it's a very tricky situation, and that's why we on the mortgage side and on the realtor side, Katie, we don't get involved in that. We have to let the attorneys and the parties work that out to the best that they can.
Definitely.
And then we have to move on from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't want no problems.
That was a great call.
Yeah, it was a great call. One of the other factors
you,
is, again, we talked about debt consolidation involved in that also, because there's obviously a credit card. It could be shared by both parties. So again, we tie that into this time of the year because, right, if you're going to do some debt consolidation, you got that other thing going on. You definitely got to figure things out. And getting the right people is key. Make the right call. Again, we always urge you to call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll point you to some great attorneys out there. Whatever your situation is, they're the experts on it. Hey, we got open lines, 248-539-9797. And Brendan, you're calling in from Lake Orion. What's your question, sir?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Real good.
Good morning.
Good morning. First time hearing the show, and figured I'd give you a call in. I got a question. I'm 25 years old, and I'm looking to buy a home. I'm curious what you guys think with the timing right now. Is it a good time to buy? Is it something that I should maybe sit on for a couple months, see what's going on? Just want to get your guys' thoughts.
I'll go first, and then I'm going to kick it over to everybody else. It's always a good time to buy when it's good for you. It's not your timeline, but if you are currently renting and you are in a position where you can start investing in yourself and your own future, it's always worth that phone call. And a lot of times we're just going to have that assessment, have that deep dive conversation. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? And, it seems like if you have your things in alignment, there really is no hesitation to not purchase a home. Ever, actually, to be honest with you. So, Katie, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, Andre was just talking about this last week on the news, but it all depends on where you're at with your payment. Like right now, are you in a situation where you're renting or are you living with family?
Living with family right now. Graduated college a couple years ago.
All right,
Nice.
good for you.
Yeah. So might have some of that college debt to pay off first, right? I know some of my friends are in that situation. But if you're able to save some money, by living with family, and I would definitely give Becky a call afterwards and kind of create that goal plan and that list of where you need to be at first. And then you can really decide if right now is the time or if maybe, in the next 6 months is going to look a little bit better for you.
Had a lot of first-time home buyers stay in line with us, Brendan, who think about, hey, I want a piece of this equity. I don't want to rent with my buddy. Let me buy the house, and maybe I could have a friend, rent a room from me, and we can make that work or whatever
Absolutely.
the situation. So maybe a great opportunity here. We always talk about how affordable it is here in all of Southeast Michigan. So if you don't want to throw that money away, find out what programs are offered.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I want to know
it's
why
great
his
he's
hesitation
looking.
knows. Okay, so Brendan, you said it's a good time or is it not? So what is in your mind that would make you think, or what is would make you hesitate?
Well, my real estate experience, it's not too high, but I know there's like a meeting with the feds, right? And mortgage rates potentially changing, or the interest rates for the mortgages. So that's why I was kind of just holding off. I'm doing some more research on it next week, but that's just kind of my hesitation there.
Okay. So rates are a piece of the cake, right? It's a piece of cake to make a cake. The rate is a piece of that cake. So just so you know, like when the Fed announces they're doing a quarter reduction on the interest rates, we'll say that is not a direct line to mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are attached to T-bonds, so much inflation, and also a quarter drop in the Fed funds is only a 0.125 difference in the rate. So let me just put it in visual for you. It'd be the difference between 6% and 6.125. That might be a difference of $30 to your payment. So it's not that significant. But if right now you're living at home, that's fine. With family, you're able to kind of recoup some of your assets. But if you are out here and someone's paying rent for $1,500 a month, there is no mandate that's going to keep your landlord from jacking that up to $2,000 a month or in the next 60 days, for example. So it's easy for us to reverse engineer that and identify a price point that's going to be lucrative and affordable for you, where you actually are paying probably less than $1,500 for rent, and you now own your own home.
And rates are always going to change, right? So even if you buy at 10% today, Becky's going to call you in 6 months when you can qualify for a 5%, right? Not that big of a drastic amount, but you get what I'm saying. So, I mean, you couldn't pay me to live with my family. So I would definitely be getting out of there as soon as possible and start your real estate, start getting the experience that you need in real estate through your first transaction.
Yes.
A lot of times, if you can
that's
afford
great,
the
guys.
rent, you
Thank
can
you.
afford the mortgage.
Yes.
Oh, we let Brendan go there. Hey, Brendan, we'll definitely give you a call after the show.
Finish that thought, though.
Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, it's just, usually, right, landlords, they make money on their properties, right? So if you're able to afford the rent and if they keep hiking it up, most of the time you will be able to afford that mortgage. It's just whether if you want to be there long term or not.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think that's the old adage. People will always say, Harry, Becky, Harvey, I can afford the monthly payment, but I'm having a hard time coming up with a down payment.
Right.
Well, Becky will tell you that right now in the history of mortgages in the world, there's never been a better time where you don't have to come up with as much money to put down on a house like you used to.
Right.
So if you can afford the rent, now there's other things that go along with mortgages, mortgage with taxes, insurance, you're talking about utilities and all those things too. But generally speaking, if you can afford to pay the rent, we could find a way to get you into a house on a down payment assistance program, Becky.
Yes.
Anything that you want to do. We've got all that information. So
Great stuff, Harry. Definitely a little announcement out there. The state of Michigan, we got a great program there. Yep. Michigan State Housing Development Authority. Hey, they dropped the rate. How about that? You can actually sign up for the program and not take the $10,000 and get 5 and 7/8, or get a $10,000 down payment assistance, 6.5%. We've got the Chinoa down payment assistance program. We got National Faith. As Harry mentioned, lots of programs to get you started if you're a first-time home buyer. Give us a call at Capital Mortgage Funding whenever you get a chance. 1-800-LOW-RATE. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah, we're back here live in Detroit. The Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Welcoming us back, I guess, 26 years here live, giving some great information. It's free to give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I'm Harvey Freed, Becky Alley, Harry Glantz. We brought in Katie Wheeler and Andre Abney, of course, from Match Realty, all around Detroit. Katie and Andre, all around Southeast Michigan. And, of course, Nicole Hoopz. Alexander.
There it is.
Hey, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Of course, Mark Ryan, he's on his way in. You're going to have Mark Chapman following him, Rieger. And then Detroit Piston basketball. Yeah, they are back. We never go away here in Detroit. It's either Harry, it's one team or the other, and we're still kicking butt here. And, boy, the Pistons are really showing up. We got the national championship in college football on Monday. And a lot going on here in sports, of course, always in Detroit. Was there an auto show? Did you guys see me? You didn't see me on TV? Yeah, I didn't make the red carpet, so that's okay. Maybe you didn't see me. But give us a call here, 248-539-9797.
Yes, okay. And I can see everyone blowing up Facebook Live right now. So we're live on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, but I also see Hoopz, you're live on Facebook right now as well. So if you want to speak to her, or any of us actually, 248-539-9797. But I see and I hear a lot of people asking, what are you excited about creativity right now? Mm-hmm. Like, is there anything like that's got you like popping?
Yeah, there's something. I just can't talk about it
Yeah.
just yet. I'm
Yeah.
super excited. I'm very
That's
passionate
such
about.
a tease. That's
Let's
such a
just say
tease.
it's in the horror field. Okay, I'm a big horror fan. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this is pilot season for people in the entertainment business. So the first 3 months are, get all your ideas out there, maybe pitch, to networks or whatever. So this is just a busy time for new ideas, and I have something in the bag.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing that, like, we always got something in the bag, right?
Yeah,
We're always, like,
I
working
gotta
on
wait,
things
though.
like low key and high key and doing the things. And, and so, like, Andre, I wanted you to talk a little bit, too. You were featured on Fox 2 News as well.
I was,
and,
yes.
Yeah, so, like, what was that experience like for you? And, I feel like we got, like, a reality TV show happening right now. You know what I mean? So,
that experience was crazy. Our buddy Jay Towers hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I want you to come on, to do a segment, talk about real estate." And I was terrified, but
He killed it.
It was
He did a
lights,
great
camera,
job.
action, and I went on there, did my thing, gave some pretty good advice, and it was cool.
And once you get past that, right, you're on the camera, you see the lights, you're in the studio, see everything there. It's really, you're in there alone.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nobody in there. There's no audience. There's just the cameras.
Yeah.
Right, the automation,
Really
the whole
big
thing.
cameras,
Right,
a lot of them.
They're in your, and they're in your face. But then once you settle in, all you're doing, kind of like what we do here, is you're having a discussion with people on what you do for a living every single day.
Right.
So it's very comforting, the fact that you know what you're talking about. So you put it out there and you give the honest advice. And that's what we are here in Detroit, okay? This isn't, Nicole, this isn't L.A. We're not all frilly and all fancy and everything. We're just down, right? I mean, this is hardcore stuff
Rock
that we
City.
talk about every day and giving people solid advice. I'd rather give somebody some solid advice all day long than get all glitzy and glamoury. I look good, but don't get me wrong. I want to give the solid advice.
Yeah.
So, like, when you guys were on reality television, do you think that there was parts of you that they, like, edited that you, like, where there's, like, they manipulate to look like a certain version of you that's not real?
No, that's kind of hard to do because it is you, So that's why you learn to repeat yourself over and over if you don't want that to happen. But it's
Right.
very hard to do that because you can't mistake action and edit something it's no, it's kind of who you are.
But then when they got the random people coming in there to surprise you, you're just like, you got the finger glocks out, but you're right. You're like,
But it's you still
Yes.
reacting, they can't change that. But
Right.
the manipulation behind the
Yeah.
scenes are real.
It can get crazy. I guess it depends on what kind of show you're on too, right? I think ours, it was very family oriented. So
Yeah.
it was just like we were just our everyday selves. We were able to do that. But they can input certain words or put them together and make it seem like you said something and you did not say that particular sentence.
yeah, it's like,
They'll
okay,
take it from-
Insinuation.
Yeah.
It's about
But
the insinuation of all things. Okay, so like in a situation like how do you protect peace a little bit when people want to have so much access to at the same time?
You get that house on that land.
You move far, far away.
I call Becky, Katie, or Dre like, hey guys, find me a place far away.
You got to create that balance.
Good.
I think that's what she's done a good job doing.
We've got a few minutes left here. I want to throw out the number one more time, 248-539-9797. Hell, Katie, let me bring you back in here. Escrow payments on the rise nationally.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things is we talked about it earlier in the show, but definitely breaking down that house payment because you got your principal and interest, your taxes, your homeowners, maybe an association. But Katie, when we're educating people all the time in the industry, you got utilities out there. I mean, it's cold outside. The cost to heat a home, electricity. We really want to protect these first home buyers. It's so key. And especially that responsibility, again, of being a great real estate agent or a lender, is just providing this information and letting people make great decisions. But I don't want anyone ever calling us up or, hey, I didn't think about this, and then regretting this great move they made.
Yeah, and I'm going to add Detroit proper in there too. You've got a Detroit tax, right? Like when you talk about utilities, sometimes buying that huge house in Boston Edison, you got to figure out what it's going to take to heat that thing, right? I've got people in Boston Edison, University District, they're paying $800 in the winter for gas. So it's a lot. I think I joke, but like literally writing down on each side every pro and con. And the biggest house isn't the best house. Maybe you start small so that you can, work your way up to that down the line. But the escrow is a tough one, right? Because of course you're stuck with taxes, you're stuck with homeowners insurance when you have a mortgage. No matter what, that's rolled into your payment. Sometimes people make the mistake of not doing an escrow account and they regret that down the line because they think they can save for their taxes and their insurance annually. And that stuff catches up to you. But that's, to the earlier point in our conversation about getting with the right person that's going to calculate that stuff up front, right?
So, Katie and Andre, where do you think, and you're our first real estate guest for 2026, and we welcome and value your opinion. So I have to ask this question. I ask it to everybody on the show. Where do you think 2026 is going to go in our area in the home buying market? What are you thinking? What are you projecting? What's your vibe telling you right now? We're early in the year, so why don't you tell us what you think is going to happen for the year?
Yeah, I'm going to let Andre answer first.
Yeah, so I think January, I feel like all the zombies are coming to life, So a lot of people are seeking information. They're seeing that the rates have, they've dropped. And they're calling us. We're getting a lot of calls.
January, it's like people have a couple goals: get fit and get a house, right?
Yeah.
You can do both, right? You can do both. So I mean, it's hard for me to answer that question because I genuinely just kind of like lock in and move. Like I just meet someone new, I sell them a house within the next month or so. That sounds maybe a little arrogant, but it's just true, right? When you're providing the right information, there's a lot of people who just think they'll never be able to do that. Like it's not even a goal that can happen for them, and it is. So I think it's about, getting out there, obviously meeting new people constantly and educating them on the right things and how they can get there faster. But 2026, I think is going to be definitely a hotter market than 2025. Yeah. Rates just went down last week, right? Or yesterday. Yeah. So that always creates the buzz and gets buyers moving and also gets some sellers to kind of figure out their own financial goals. So I think it's going to be hotter than 2025, but I think it'll still be a little bit better for buyers in the sense where we're going to have, more inventory than last year, but at the right prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like 26 is already peaked, or it's going to peak. It's going to be like almost like a 21 market, I feel like, because, people are going to unlock those golden handcuffs of equity, finally. Those sellers that have been sitting on the sidelines, the rates are going to make it so it's a little bit more affordable. I feel like even just January, even comparison year over year, the business and the phones, like people are excited. There's refinance activity, but there's also a lot of purchase activity. There's people are wanting to get pre-approved like all weekend long. Like you're just literally throwing out pre-approvals. There's a lot of backwards as well, where it's like they're finding the house, then they want to get pre-approved last minute. Yeah. I just had one of my friends reach out to me last week, and all the ingredients were there, but they didn't get me their financials, and I couldn't do it because they just couldn't afford that price point, and it just wasn't the right time. But that's why if you're thinking about home ownership or whatever you're trying to do, you can't start the conversation soon enough. Like, I mean, anytime. Like, you have to give us a call, give anybody a call, but educate yourself and know where you're at so you know where you're going.
Yep.
Is that it, Harv?
It's coming up. National Association of Realtors. They said that the inventory's up, Katie, 22 straight months. That's good news for sure. Some of the markets are always different. Again, is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? These are all different. We do loans in all 50 states. Want you to urge you to definitely call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, and how important it is to go ahead and get that strong approval letter. All right, we got to get out of here. Let me just thank everyone who came in. Katie Wheeler and Andre Abney, of course. Match Realty, you guys are great. Cyrus, feel better if you're listening.
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Yeah, where are you, Cyrus?
I'm wishing you well.
Danielle Hoopz, Alexander, thanks for joining us. Social media star.
Nicole.
Oh,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Alexander, what are you talking about?
It's a lot of people in here. It's all right.
Icons set trends, okay? We don't follow them. We're here. Keep it locked in.
Thank you,
We'll be here
everybody.
next week.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
We're out. Good job, guys.